Should you be worried about Pokemon Sword and Shield? When Pokemon Sword and Shield were announced, everyone was excited. Obviously, people would be torn between the graphics, how would it look. It's the first mainline Pokemon entry on Switch, so essentially it's got to be a good game. But as we've received more and more information, people's mindsets have changed about the game. And here I want to tell you why they've changed and present why people are against it and why people still love the game. And some of the things are pretty big, so let's get straight into the stuff against. Animations. The animations are terrible. When you look at the fact Fly, there's an example here, the model just gets loaded in, it doesn't even move. You can see it hover in the beginning and then just fly down. Especially when you get people, Masuda, saying that, oh, we prioritize making the game as fluid as possible. That's kind of bullshit. So, what are the chances that doesn't get changed? There's high chances. Again, but again with animations, you've got things like double kick as well. Double kick, where you'd expect your Pokemon to kick out with their feet. No, they don't. They in fact just hop up and down and you see this massive foot planted against your opponent. It's complete crap, and obviously it's been a trend in the 3DS games. Obviously you wouldn't be able to render that much. It would be hard on the system, especially as Pokemon Sun and Moon already demanded a lot of the system already. You're on a console now, so it's no excuse. And when you're comparing it to things like Pokemon Stadium did stuff in the complete opposite and got it right. For example, Blastoise. Nowadays, you have moves that shoot water and they come out of his forehead. This is Blastoise, remember. Blastoise has a massive cannon. So, I don't know. And then you go to Pokemon Stadium and guess what? It shoots out of his cannon in a fully functioning animation. So that's the primary thing about it. People are fed up. This all stems into one big thing, which I will get to in a moment. But next, we have to remember this game is actually made with the same engine used for the 3DS games. So there's limitations once more. I don't know the extent of how more advanced this engine has changed during the Switch development, but if you're using the 3DS engine, then you're going to get limitations. Again, it's difficult to imagine. Like, we had Pokemon Let's Go, which admittedly I can understand if it was using the original engine, because it's just a remake. People want, and it's just a Kanto remake to bring people back into the franchise from Pokemon Go, just like a small side project. But with a big mainline game, you don't want this to get fluctuated by another engine of not a bad quality, but of a handheld, a very weak handheld. So why are people complaining so much? Well, it's because of the Pokédex. The Pokédex obviously is quite large now. I think it's mentioned with forms in this game, it brings the total up to 1,000. Don't quote me on that though, but if they're not including all of the Pokemon, I don't understand why. Again, we're going back to Masuda saying it's because of it takes time, you've got to model everything, you've got to do la da 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 da. Remember this think about it, every single model used in the animation scheme of Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, etc., they all stem from the X and Y engine. They all stem from the X and Y sprites. And no matter if it's even a sprite or a model, they still stem from that. And even the Let's Go games, those are models, but they're stemmed from the sprites. It's difficult, especially when you take into the consideration of all the animations. The animations are crap, okay? You can't use the animations as some sort of argument for why you're not including all the Pokemon. If they were saying, oh, we still have work to do on the animations, even after the E3 demo, then I would understand. But they haven't really clarified, so I don't really give them a lot of help for that. So the Pokédex will include all of the Galar region Pokemon and a select few of the old Pokemon. I'm guessing it's Gen 1 because Gen 1 gets sucked off all the time. So I assume it will be them. I assume we will get the starters from Gen 1 again. Surprise, surprise. And that's the thing that annoys me because it's just why? Why? Naturally, there's going to be more Pokemon than just Gen 1, I know. There's going to be a few from Gen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. But, man, it's sad because people are complaining. But then there's people complaining at the people complaining because, look, it's 1,000 Pokemon. That's a lot of work to do. Then why is the slogan, gotta catch 'em all? Yeah. Obviously, you couldn't have predicted this would happen when you came up with the slogan, but come on. Like, even if... I don't know. I honestly don't know. A solution to this is literally Nintendo could delay the game. I mean, Game Freak. They all stem from the same thing. Game Freak could delay the game to what Animal Crossing is doing, March, maybe June, or whatever, 2020. And I would be fine with that. I think loads of people would be fine with that if we were getting all the Pokemon in exchange. I think that would be great. And it would work. Obviously, yes, it's a delay, and obviously it's probably not the best thing to do, bearing in mind Nintendo need a holiday title. So, you do you. Alternatively, Nintendo could release the game, but say there will be updates where they will slowly incorporate more and more Pokemon into the game as time goes on. Maybe one update have, oh, here's the rest of Pokemon from Gen 1, here's the rest of Pokemon from Gen 2, next update, and 3, and 4, and etc, etc. That would be cool. I think that would be really cool. And remember, the Galar region is based on the UK. Imagine we had something where we got to travel, because in geographical context, France is next to the UK. Imagine we could get an update where we could travel back to Kalos. Then you've got all of the Gen 5 Pokemon. That would be cool. That'd be really cool. But I also want to say, everything they're saying about the Pokédex is a complete joke. Bearing in mind, Pokemon Black and White did this exact thing, but then included all of the Pokemon. This is a DS game, remember? A DS game. It was the last generation on DS, including Pokemon Black and White 2, and the game generally followed the same premise as the Galar region. You start off with all original Pokemon. You're not going to be in contact with any Pokemon you already know. And then once you completed the main game, you then gained access to meeting old Pokemon, so you could fill up your Pokédex. And every single Pokemon was included, so you had roughly a margin of 600 Pokemon in this game. That's 400 off the total, roughly. So, and for a DS game, they put the time and effort into it. So, if they could put the effort in there, why can't they do it for now? Obviously, the DS used sprites, but the sprites back then probably looked more entertaining than the models they're using now, jumping up on the spot and planting a foot in someone. Just my thought. But again, I just need to say something. Naturally, it's going to be difficult. I'm not arguing against the fact it will be difficult to put all the Pokemon in. So here's my case for. The game will sell well. The game will do well. The game will be a good Pokemon game anyway. Yes, the graphics may not look pristine. The graphics may not look great. In fact, Game Freak's other game, Town Working title, looks arguably better in graphics quality or just general presentation style than Pokemon Sword and Shield. That's not great. That's not great. But the game will still sell well. This game will still do well generally, and it won't lack in content. Despite the fact that you're missing all these Pokemon, you've still got the Dynamax thing where you make your Pokemon big. As much as I don't understand why we need that, and then you've got lots of stuff. The Galar region looks like one of the most compact regions as well. It looks packed to the brim with cool stuff. The towns and the cities look brilliant. They look massive, and that's saying when we live in a world where Lumio City and Castelia City exist. And Castelia City, that was actually quite a small city, it looked big. But apart from that, it's gonna be a big game. It is a big game. And the open place, the wild area, I forget the name. It's not a route or anything, it's a wild area or something. Looks pretty cool. It's like an open world Pokemon for the first time. And it's just like a little glimpse into the future of what Pokemon could be. Obviously we're not at that point yet, and I respect that. I respect that we haven't reached the point where we can do this stuff. Naturally the Pokemon dev team aren't used to this as well. Remember, everyone's learning, so I respect that. I respect that we're going into new territory, and I really think the game will be a good game, despite all of these limitations that's happening. If you're interested about all of this, I recommend you go and watch Twip's video of the same topic about why Pokemon Sword and Shield don't look that great. Give it a lot of love. He's not too much of a fan of the Pokemon Sword and Shield games, unlike me, but he still brings up really cool points, and I think you should take them into consideration.